Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum class. This is me, your instructor Zahmeed. I welcome you to English grade 8 video lessons. Students, today we are going to cover yet another SLO of our unit number 6, which is a poem. I hope that you have read it. It's called The Most Beautiful Flower. It's a very interesting and a poem full of messages. So let's analyze it. Let's see all these literary techniques that are used in our poem. So we are taking this main lessons poem as a sample and we are going to perform all these things and achieve our SLO. Now it says evaluate the literary techniques. Yes, techniques that are applied on literature, on the text. In this case, we are dealing with the poem. We are going to take the text of the poem. For example, music or sound, imagery or visual effects. We are going to see the type of vocabulary and language structure used in the poem, used in written and visual texts to achieve a variety of purposes. Yes, we have different purposes of analyzing these literary techniques and also using them as a writer or as a poet. We are going to talk about the sound, the rhythm. It includes the rhyming scheme, imagery, because the words and phrases create a visual effect in your mind. We are going to see the type of vocabulary and also why the poem is structured and written in this way. So let's start doing it. Here you can see a vertical linkage. This is for your additional information for you and for the teacher. And now for the brainstorming, before we dive into the lecture, let's talk about what kind of words or pictures could make a reader feel happy, sad, or even inspired. Yes, there are some words that are having some feelings. We read the words, or when we read them, a picture, an image, or a photo comes in our mind. Yes, and we feel the written text. Now, these are the literary techniques that are used by the poet or the writer for us to feel that way as a reader. Now, can you think of any word or any phrase in any poem that you have read previously which made you feel happy, sad, or even inspired and motivated to do something? Come up with your answers and I'm waiting for you. That's a very good effort. I hope that now you are ready and all charged up for this lecture. Here you can see the text of the poem. This is taken from the main lesson of your book. You can open your books and read it with me. The park bench was deserted as I sat down to read beneath the long, straggly branches of an old willow tree. Disillusioned by life with good reasons to frown, for the world was intent on dragging me down. And if that were not enough to ruin my day, a young boy, out of breath, approached me all tired from play. He stood right before me with his head tilted down. Now, let's see which are the words that are leaving a very good impact on us as a reader. Deserted, beneath the long straggly branches. Yes, the branches are long and straggly. We are talking about a tree and the tree is old. You can picture and visualize an old willow tree with long straggly branches, and the poetess or the writer is sitting beneath it. And the park, it's a park. She's sitting on a bench. It was deserted. It means there was nobody around. It was a complete in a desert place. So, disillusioned by life. It means that the poetess is having confusion and illusions by life with good reasons to frown. The world was intended on dragging me down. It's like the world is conspiring against you and pulling you down. And if that were not enough to ruin my day, now ruining our day, this is a very sad and very sad phrase, because if our day is ruined, we feel sad and unhappy. A young boy out of breath. Now, can you imagine a young boy running towards you with trying to catch his breath, and he looks very tired, and he stands before me with his head tilted down. Yes, you can visualize the whole scene clearly. Why? Because the words are used in that way. There are phrases and words that we feel as a reader, and that's why we can have a very good visual effect on our mind. Can you feel the same? Let's move on to the next stanza. And said with great excitement, who? The boy. The boy said with great excitement, look what I found. In his hand was a flower. And what a pitiful sight. Now, why is it pity? Because of the condition of the flower. The flower having petals that are all tired and worn down because it is not given enough rain, or it is given not very good light. So the feeling of seeing a flower in such bad condition, it leaves you sad. It leaves you in a very sad mood, wanting him to take his dead flower and go off to play. How was the flower? The flower was like a dead flower. So what did the poetess do? She faked a smile, a very small smile. She faked it. The smile is not real because she is sad and depressed, and then shifted away. Then she moved to her side and stopped looking at the boy. She wanted the boy to leave, but he sat down. Yes, he sat next to my side and placed the flower to his nose and declared with overacted surprise. What did he say with a very much emotion of surprise? He says, it sure smells pretty and it's beautiful too. Why did he say this? Why did he not say that it looks pretty and smells good, or it looks beautiful and smells pretty? Because we are going to find it out. Because the boy, if you have read the poem, the boy was blind, but still he was very much excited. Now when we are reading this kind of poem, we are very sad and we start having gratitude to God, and we start thanking for our facilities and the eyes that we have, because the boy does not have a pair of eyes. He was blind. Now let's point out some words. The weed before me was dying or dead, not vibrant of colors. It means there were no colors, orange, yellow or red, but I knew I must take it or he might never leave. Now at this point, the poetess is just wanting the boy to leave because he is disturbing her peace. So I reached for the flower and replied, just what I need. But instead of him placing the flower in my hand, he held it midair without reason or plan. It was then that I noticed for the very first time that weed-toting boy could not see. He was blind. Yes. So we have marked so many words: dying flower, old willow tree, and deserted park. So these are the words and phrases which are leaving a very good impact on us as a reader, and we feel either sad, happy, grateful, or even motivated or inspired by such poems. Let's look at the imagery. Yes, all these words or phrases or the verses that are leaving an image in our mind as a reader. How does the poem create imagery? By this phrase, long straggly branches of an old willow tree. Yes, we can picturize it in our mind. A flower, and what a pitiful sight, with its petals all worn, not enough rain or too little light. This tells us, and the picture comes in our mind of a dead flower with not enough nutrition. Now, sensory imagery. Yes, we have 5 senses, right? So such words which are touching our 5 senses as a reader, they are called sensory imagery or sensory details. When the boy said, "It sure smells pretty and it's beautiful too." Now we can smell it, we can see, we can use our prior knowledge of smell of a flower, and we can see and visualize different flowers that are coming in our mind, and beautiful flowers we can picturize and imagine easily. Let's talk about the language and the vocabulary. The use of contrast in vocabulary, like dead flower versus beautiful. So we have contrasting vocabulary and language in the poem, and we have words like disillusioned. What does it mean? It means disappointed. Pitiful, which means sad or weak, and worn, which means tired or used up, as the flower was. Now these words shows the unhappy and tired at the beginning and these feelings. Words like "look what I found," this tells us that the boy was excited, so we can picturize it and we can see that the boy is innocent and he is full of excitement and joy. So we can sense all these using the words and the imagery. Students, you can watch this simulation link to understand all about these literary techniques better, and for your homework, you have to choose a short poem from your textbook or any poem that you like. Make sure it has some clear imagery, sound effects, like a rhyme or a rhythm, and a variety of words. You have to write down 2 examples of imagery, identify the rhyme scheme, write it down. If there's any repetition of sounds, alliteration, you can write them down as well, and choose the words that are very interesting. So literally, you are applying those literary techniques that we have learned in another poem. This is all about your homework, and for your worksheet, you have to do this very interactive and interesting worksheet that is available in the resources, and all these resources are available. They can be accessed in the description of the video. Thank you so much. I hope that now we have successfully covered all these different literary techniques in our poem of the main lesson. I'll see you in the next video lesson. Take care of yourselves. Allah Hafiz.